season, Tom. It has been a great season for the PBA. I think arguably the best season in decades for the PBA from many standpoints. I mean, things are just like a rocket ship going up this year, and it's been so much news, it's been hard to capture all of it.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. I think that this first year with FloBowling and Flow Sports and Fox really rejuvenated all of professional bowling, and our players and our fans really rose to the occasion. They were just electric all year, and you almost couldn't make up the moments as they accumulated. From the first week on, there were special moments, and all leading towards the first PBA playoffs and an incredible finish. So, world record-breaking moments. You just kind of blink and you can think of all the great moments that we saw, and it just kept piling on and on and on. And our fans were just huge, and it all kind of culminated in Portland, Maine, where the fans are incredible, and they're really the most important thing. That's why I really appreciate all the FloBowling subscribers who are really the best fans in bowling, and appreciate all the people following the PBA on social media, coming out to our events, watching on TV, and they were definitely entertained this year.
That's for sure. And one big story is the reason Coley is sitting here. The Bolero's purchase of the PBA, it happened a few months ago. We talked to you right after it happened, but how are you settling in? I know it's a lot, right?
It's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
We liked the season so much we bought the whole thing. It's so exciting. Obviously, this past season was amazing. I actually got to be there in Portland at the end of the playoffs, and just feeling that excitement in the room. We do this all because of our fans. We do this because of the sport of bowling. And, Bolero Corp being the new owner of the PBA just means that it's our chance to help this sport grow, and we'll do it with great partners like you guys here at Flow.
I appreciate that. We've got some news to get to. We don't want to keep people waiting for too long, but we've got the Player of the Year announcement today, and I'll just run through the 10 players who were eligible this year in alphabetical order, of course. We had Dom Barrett, Jason Belmonte, Jacob Buttriff, Norm Duke, Bill O'Neill, Chris Prather, Sean Rash, Kyle Sherman, Anthony Simonson, and E.J. Tackett. It doesn't get much better than that.
The best of the best, right?
I mean, that's a great list. And then for the Rookie of the Year, we have 6 players who were on the list. Mike Coffey, Michael Davidson, Patrick Hanrahan, Packy. We've got Michael Holloman, Kenny Ryan, and Greg Young. So some good rising stars there from the rookie ranks. And we're going to go through these players here and find out who the winner is, who the top 3 are in just a couple of minutes. But I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up in 2020 because it's a big season coming up. We start with the PBA Tour in mid-January. PBA Hall of Fame Classic is going to be on FloBowling all season long, qualifying match play rounds live on FloBowling exclusively. And if you're an international subscriber, you'll be able to watch all the finals domestically, all on Fox Sports as well. But it's a big season, big prize money. Coley, you guys are doing big things. They're going to be playing for big money this next year, right?
That's right. The first thing we did with our ownership was commit to an additional $400,000 in the prize fund. This means we have multiple tournaments that you're going for $100K. We really want to build up our players. I always talk about this. These are top of their game athletes, and we want to, recognize them for all the hard work that they're doing. And, the money is where it starts. It's not where it ends, but we're really happy to make that commitment.
Yeah, and $100,000 prizes next year.
Yeah, it was fun to have the luxury of budgeting that way. And I think my 2 favorite events, I love them all, but I think my 2 favorite events are the Tournament of Champions for the tradition and the history. And ever since we moved back and working with Coley and Bolero to move back into Riviera Lanes in Fairlawn, Ohio, a couple years ago, it's so special being there and being able to put $100,000 on top in that event, which will be on the Sunday after the Super Bowl on Big Fox. That is going to be an amazing event. You're going to be able to feel everything that bowling can bring to sports fans, and then also.
And I think that's the best part about the season. You're going to see a mix of really classic championship shows and a mix of modern fun and excitement. And so there's really something for our fans because we know they span that spectrum between those loyalists who want to see something like the TOC, and then our up and coming new set of fans who love the environment at Bayside Bowl.
Yeah, and also the other one is the World Championship, the main event at the World Series of Bowling. And once again, we are able to go 5 consecutive days of PBA action from the World Series of Bowling on FS1 in March, this time from South Point, probably one of the most beautiful bowling centers for competitive bowling that exists. And going back in there and doing a World Series 5 straight days and all the coverage on Flow. We were talking earlier about the match play at the World Series of Bowling, probably the hottest action on Flow all year.
It is.
And you'd be able to watch the match play and then see those guys compete immediately on television in the finals. The World Series is really exciting. So having 100,000 in there is great too. So no, it's there has been so much momentum for the PBA, and it just continues to build, and it's really exciting to be a part of.
Yeah, and we say this all the time, Tom. You and I have been saying this for a couple of years now. There's never been a better time to be a bowling fan. We say that every year because every year it's true. It gets better and better and better. If you're a bowling fan and you want to watch the best bowlers in the world, you can watch them almost all day long on FloBowling.
Every day.
Every day.
From January about 14th until around July.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, it's great, and it's not just live coverage on FloBowling. I spent a lot of my time. We cultivate exclusive interviews, behind the scenes access, podcasts. We had a great one recently at the U.S. Open where we followed Bill O'Neill around. I don't know if you guys saw that, but before the show, where he's scrambling to get these bowling balls drilled, and then his ball rep breaks the thumb on one of them. Oh, it's great. A lot of people watch that. A lot of people enjoy it. So if you like behind the scenes coverage, FloBowling is where it's at and where you're going to find it throughout the season. So I guess we can sort of get into our awards here.
All right, let's give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want here. We're going to start off with the Tony Reyes Memorial Community Service Award. This is a very special award, especially to those of us who remember Tony Reyes and the type of guy that he was and just how special he was on the tour. Of course, he passed away a number of years ago now, but it's nice that we remember him in this way. Tom, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about this award and what sort of things you look for in finding somebody.
The first thought I had when you just say Tony's name is just I miss him.
Yeah.
I just miss Tony Reyes. And I can actually remember the last conversation I had with him. You know what it was about? It was before we started the PBA League, and he was telling me, and we were at Red Rock actually several years ago, and he was telling me, we've got to get more team bowling at the PBA level, and I think people are going to get into it. And he was helping college teams at the time, and we did it. And what he says, he's one of the guys where when he would tell me something, I would listen, because he was a special person. So we're very proud, to be able to create this award in his honor, and it's a great award, and it makes the award even more special. But it really highlights what our players do in the community. I mean, our players know that they're the greatest ambassadors for the sport of bowling in the world, and they take that very seriously. And some of them take it to the highest level, and we've honored them over the last few years. This year's winner, though,
here we go.
Drum roll.
The winner last year, Chris Barnes.
Chris Barnes won last year.
This
year, this young man has been a PBA member for 36 years.
Wow.
And is one of the great ambassadors of our sport. And he's out on tour every week for several years as a ball rep, but still a member. And he started something called Bowl for Life, and it is his foundation, and he's given thousands of dollars, over $50,000 this year alone for scholarships for kids, for youth bowlers. And he's a special person that we all love sharing a hug with every time we see him. The winner of the Tony Reyes Community Service Award for 2019 is Mr. Chuck Gardner.
All right, Chuck Gardner. We know he's watching. He's got to be excited about this.
My phone's probably blowing up for Chuck.
Chuck Gardner, well deserved. And maybe you can tell us, a little bit about Chuck. Chuck on the truck, right? We see him out there, works for Brunswick, ball rep, but that's
a tough job.
Good guy.
It's a tough job. He's he's always been a top player. He's another one where when he has opinions about the regional system, the PBA 50 tour, the national tour, you take a moment and you listen, because everything is coming from the heart with Chuck. He wants bowling to succeed. He loves the game. No one's going to say they love the game more than Chuck Gardner, and so he spreads it, and he's got more and more kids taking part in his events. He does clinics all the time. His wife helps out a lot. She deserves probably a lot of the credit, I'll tell you right now. And she's kind of the brains of the operation, I think. But she's a big help, and so his entire family is involved with bowling. And so I think he's going to really enjoy this. And, we have an awards dinner in January at the Hall of Fame induction, and Chuck will have a chance to give a few words at that point, and I think we'll all look forward to that.
Well, congratulations to Chuck Gardner. A great honor for a great man, and I'm sure we're going to see Chuck on. He's probably already on Twitter and Facebook posting about it. So
I think we need a video reaction shot. So Chuck, we want a video reaction, and we're going to post it for you.
So now we've got another great award, the Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award winner, and all I have to do is read through some of the past winners, and you understand what this award is all about. Tom Smallwood has won it 2 of the last 3 years. I mean, Tom's one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. Chris Loschetter won it in 2017. Josh Blanchard in 2015. This is an award that I think the players, feel very honored when they receive it, because they know that it means that their peers respect them and understand them and appreciate them. And so, without further ado, Tom, I'll let you.
Yeah, it's the touring players that get to vote on this.
This is not Tom Clark picking.
This isn't
winner,
me.
right?
This isn't the executive team picking. This is the players who are out there day in, day out, and you think of it kind of as the good guy award in a way. And they've all the names, as you said. If you look on PBA.com and get the full list, it's they're all great guys. They're all great guys, and no one will argue with this year's winner. I think I met him in 2008 or 9 when he came over from Sweden, and he was going to bowl in the World Series of Bowling, and he was going to take part in the PBA tour on a regular basis. Martin Larson is the winner, and he's won before. He's won the Steve Nagy Award before, and no one would argue with it. And Martin is, I think that everybody on tour, in a way, sort of feels for him in one way, because they all know how great he is, and he's probably the best player who has never won a PBA title. And I'm constantly waiting for him to win one, because I want him in the Tournament of Champions, and all the players do. They're not going to give him one. It's very difficult to win, and he's had many chances. He's made seven or eight shows through the years, or finals, through the years. But I would always expect him to compete in just about every event. He had a rough year this year. He got into an accident while at a tournament here, and I know all the players felt for him, even though they gave him a lot of ribbing, and they can with him because he's a great guy. He's Martin Larson. I mean, we all love him. He's also got a really exciting career on the horizon as a tournament director, and as someone who
the
Lucky Larson in Sweden has his name on it, and that's why a lot of the best players want to take part in that event, and they know that he's going to treat the bowlers correctly, and there's just so much respect for Martin out on the PBA tour that it gives even the PBA and our tournament directors confidence, knowing when he's out there, out on the floor, that people should look at him as a way to behave as a professional bowler. He's like the model of a PBA tour professional, and so very proud to be able to say Martin Larson is the 2019 Steve Nagy Award winner.
A very well-deserved honor, I would say. You would be hard-pressed to find anybody who would say anything bad about Martin Larson.
Sure.
And we were all just absolutely heartbroken when he got hit by that car in Virginia Beach earlier this year. Thank God it was not worse. It could have been much worse. He had an angel on his shoulder that day, and it may have been a case of water, which is what he told us was on the shoulder that protected him, but it was an angel and it protected him, and we're also thankful. So Martin, congratulations, and we're going to definitely see Martin Larson out there on tour in the coming season. I know we always talk about guys who haven't won, and it's always easy to say the young guys like AJ Johnson and Brad Miller and these guys, but Martin's a guy who's really good, and if you don't know, he's won a lot in Europe. He's not a guy who's never won anything. He wins in Europe all the time. So let's be hopeful that he can get in that winner's circle sooner rather than later. But congratulations to Martin Larson. So we're going to move in gets more compelling as we go here.
The excitement builds.
That's right. It's building. I know that there are young rookies hanging out, watching at home, waiting to see who is going to be the rookie of the year. We have got a class that is 6 players. Nobody won this year. Always makes it a little difficult when no rookie wins. It was probably the most difficult vote for me as a voter out of the 2 votes. But we've got, some good guys here. Mike Coffey, Michael Davidson, Patrick Hanrahan, Michael Holloman, Kenny Ryan, and Greg Young. Past winners of this award, Cameron Doyle won it last year. He didn't win a title last year, but he had a pretty solid season overall. Matt Sanders the year before that. Frankie Lavoie won it just 3 years ago. And then the year before that, Jesper Svensson. Boy, it feels like Jesper's been on tour longer than that, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Don't tell him that.
We did a fan poll on FloBowling.com for this award, and we got almost 3,000 votes, which is excellent.
Nice work, guys.
Yeah, and the fans picked Michael Holloman with 44% of the vote, Greg Young 25% of the vote, and Kenny Ryan got 10% of the vote. So, Tom, I will let you tell us who the top 3 are. How did our fans do with their top 3 picks? They had Holloman, Young, and Ryan as
the
their
fans
top 3.
did a good job. I'll just throw in there that it is incredibly difficult for a rookie to come out on the PBA Tour.
Oh, my gosh.
The learning curve, you can't imagine it. And you're talking about kids, young people that have dominated bowling and every level until this point. And the PBA Tour is just different. And so having any kind of success and dealing with frustration on a day in, day in, and sticking with it to end up winning an award like this or being even considered for an award like this is a great accomplishment. And they should kind of know that they'll come out on the other end and they're going to be okay, but it is tough to adapt to the conditions and the formats and the travel and the pressure and everything that goes into it. So it's a really important award. Yeah, you had 3. There was a tie. There was also a tie in there, so I'll name 4. Michael Coffey was another one that was in the top 4 of the picks, but I'm going to let my boss here name the.
So
the
we've got 4 players officially in the mix here. We've got Greg Young, Kenny Ryan, Mike Coffey, and Michael Holloman, and so only one of them can be the winner.
Only one can be the winner.
So Coley, who
and
is
that
it?
winner is Michael Holloman.
Oh, Michael Holloman! Congratulations, $37,000 in prize money this year, and. Michael Holloman, he basically, I think, he got my vote, won this event based on his performance at the USBC Masters. We have some video of him competing at the USBC Masters. He finished second at that event. It was runner-up to Jacob Buttriff, so it was a battle of the lefties in that finals, and Michael Holloman put on from a single event perspective, the best performance of a rookie all season long, and it was a tough vote. I thought that Greg Young deserved some consideration. He made 2 shows, which is more than anybody else did. He made 2 shows during the summer swing, but Michael Holloman is the winner.
Yeah, I'll give one little tidbit. This goes back to our Tony Reyes award winner Chuck Gardner, but Chuck and his Bowl for Life Foundation donated $5,000 this year towards the Rookie of the Year award, with Michael getting $2,500 of that, and the other $2,500 going to a youth bowler for a scholarship fund. So thanks to Chuck for that. But yeah, this was an exciting show to be a part of at the Masters, and when he's going up against probably the top left-handed player of the day right now, Jacob Buttriff, for that title, and Jacob got his first major championship there, and but it was well earned having to get through Michael Holloman. But Michael also was drafted into the PBA League, which was another great experience. That you that's another one you can't, until you do it, you could never you can never simulate, what it's like to be on a team like that. So I'd expect him to be somebody to look for in 2020.
All right, so Michael Holloman is your top rookie for 2019. So I know that a lot of the players are watching this. We know that.
Hi, guys.
Belmo's watching. Sean Rash is watching. Jacob Butcher, if they're all watching, they're like, all right, let's get to it already. Not so fast. Let's talk a little bit more about the upcoming 2020 season. Just want to remind you, qualifying match play all on FloBowling. You'll be able to watch it all season long. We start January 15th with the PBA Hall of Fame Classic. And one cool thing about that event, we're going to broadcast the PBA Hall of Fame inductions for 2020. I guess 2020, right? It's the 2020 inductions for the 2019
Correct.
inductees. So we'll be broadcasting that. We've got a great season ahead. 5 majors within the first 3 months of the year. It's crazy.
Intense.
In the span of about 7 weeks, there's going to be 5 major titles handed out. I don't know that, have they ever been bunched up like that before? That's a lot in a short period.
Yeah.
This past year was 4 of them.
Right. I think that the thing that makes it really compelling is understanding the types of audiences that we're going to have for those finals, because most of them are on Fox network broadcast television live, and those are really important time slots for the PBA and for bowling. And so to be able now this year to put the U.S. Open back into our schedule and be on Fox, and the Tournament of Champions we talked about on Big Fox, and the Masters will for the first time be on Big Fox. Then the Players Championship is on FS1, and the World Championship is on FS1 as part of that World Series run. So we have an exciting programming that will, you're right, it's going to be so intense on the players.
Yeah, it's a grueling travel schedule for these guys.
Yeah.
It just shows you how much goes into being, a professional at this level.
Yeah, and Coley, we've got 5 majors. Great opportunity for you and Bolero now coming in, trying to sell sponsorships to really put your best foot forward and make these events great, and gives you guys a real tool, right?
Yeah, we are putting for the above the line and Big Fox shows and the FS1 shows, we're putting over $500,000 extra into production. And those are going to be things that are just going to amplify the action and the storytelling, because our bowlers, they really are dynamic guys, and we're sometimes only getting to see a small portion of their lives, so we want to go deeper like you guys do here at Flow. So I think that's going to be a really unique opportunity. We want to bring our fans in, have deeper engagement with them, and this is the way we're going to do it.
All right, I think we've left them on the edge of their seats long enough. But
feel
all
bad.
those majors on FloBowling, qualifying and match play exclusively. So be sure to tune in for that. All right, Chris Schenkel, PBA Player of the Year announcement, the one we've all been waiting for. Already ran through the 10 players who are eligible for this award. We did a fan poll for this as well. And I don't think there's any surprise that Jason Belmonte got 39% of the fan vote. Norm Duke got 14%. And then there was a tie for third. Kyle Sherman and Jacob Butcher both got 10%. So, again, about 3,000 votes. Our fans really kind of chimed in. They wanted to have their voice heard. Obviously, this award and the Rookie of the Year award are decided based on a vote of the players and media members or industry insiders who select these winners. And so, Tom, we'll let you tell us who the top 3 are in the votes.
Yeah, the fans did a pretty good job, because Jacob, Norm Duke, and Jason Belmonte were the 3 top vote getters from the membership and the media that voted. And, I think we can all just kind of remember 2019 and think of all the great moments that each one of those players provided, and everybody down the list. So coming into the top 3 was pretty special when you consider how exciting this year was. So, Norm, Jacob, and Belmo were your top 3.
All right, and so now let's figure out who the winner is, and then we'll offer a little insight into these players. But Coley?
Yeah, well, I am honored to announce that the Chris Schenkel PBA Player of the Year award goes to Jason Belmonte, someone I have known for the past 6 years. I'm super happy for you, Jason. I can't think of anyone else who deserves it more.
And I have to be honest, it's not a surprise to me. It was pretty obvious early in the season that he was on that trajectory. When he won 2 of the first 3 majors, he finished second at the other one. I think after Jason won the PBA World Championship, people thought it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to be the PBA Player of the Year. I do think that it could have just a few pins here or there could have changed this. I think when Belmo and Buttriff met in Japan at the DHC PBA Japan Invitational, if Jacob Buttriff wins that and beats Belmo, he has more titles this season than Belmo does. So it was a little closer, I think, than people might think.
And a major.
And he had a major. So, I think that it was an interesting season. Not quite as close as last year when Andrew Anderson won it. And we didn't really have any idea who was going to win it last year. But, Jason Belmonte has now won 5 of the past 6 or 7, I think, Player of the Year awards. So
5 of the past 7, yeah.
Yeah, Andrew Anderson won it last year, and EJ Tackett won it in 2016. But since then, it's been the Belmo show on the PBA Tour.
Yeah, we really are just witnesses, really, to one of the great careers in the history of the game. And so now with 5 PBA Player of the Year awards, he's behind only Walter Ray with 7. And Earl Anthony with 6, and I believe he broke a tie with Mark Roth, who had 4, to move into 3rd place on that. And when you're with Walter and Earl, and you're still kind of in the heart and the meat of your career, it's really special to be able to be a witness to it. You know, before the year started, we made an announcement that if you were in the final match of these major championships, you'd be bowling for $1 million if you bowled a 300 game in any of those events. And then Belmo went out and made it into the final match of every single one of those shows.
It's crazy.
Because he has it in his mind. He's one of these athletes and players, competitors that believes he can do anything, and his mental game is the strength of his game. People talk about the physical game and the different ways, the different things he can do that other people maybe can't do. But I think, to have this kind of winning record and become now, we didn't mention, the all-time major champion winner in the history of the PBA this year, that only happens when you have a focus that is almost unmatched, throughout the history of the game, and he's going to be up there in that Mount Rushmore of bowling, and so we all get a chance to watch it happen. And you know what it does? It makes all the other players try even harder. It sets the bar at a certain level, and it makes the guys who want to be great say, that's a guy I want to beat. It makes all their games get sharper, and it makes the competition even better, and that's what we keep growing. So. It's fun.
We're super proud of Jason. He is setting the bar really high, and we are witnesses to history here. So congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, so Jason, he led the tour in points and earnings, $288,000 this season, and that's just tour earnings. It doesn't count any sort of endorsements, anything like that. But he led the tour with that. Also had the most titles on the PBA Tour this season. I think we have a little bit of video from his 2 of his wins. This is the Tournament of Champions. It's a historic AMF Riviera.
Beautiful center.
It's right.
Yes.
A historic place.
It really is. And then we bowl right on 27 and 8, where all the greatest history in the game happened, and there's more history right there. And I think
that was amazing, that moment.
And then this is the PBA World Championship here, where he bowled Jacob Buttriff. Another one where if Buttriff wins this match, that flips things pretty substantially in this voting. So Belmo got it done though, 4 titles this season, and this one was the one that helped him get to major number 11, which is the record, and half of Belmo's titles are majors.
And that's the one where his kids and were watching at home, and
that's right.
On FloBowling, which is really one of the great moments in FloBowling history.
It is
to have a whole classroom in Australia watch on the big screen and go crazy for him when he won, and we were able to actually capture that and put it on the Fox show live during his interview with Kimberly. And, awesome moment for Flo and for the PBA.
It was. We appreciate Coley, you and Tom coming out to help us announce these awards today. We've got a great season coming up in 2020 on FloBowling for the PBA and for Flo Sports, so we hope that you'll join us throughout the season. We're going to have tons of coverage for you. Every day we have new coverage, new content on FloBowling.com. And starting next week, we are going to be rolling out, we haven't told anybody this yet, our preseason power rankings on the PBA Tour, rolling them out one at a time, starting on Monday with the 20th ranked player. So be on the lookout for that. Keep you excited through the holidays about the upcoming PBA Tour season. But guys, anything else you want to say to wrap things up?
I would just say, if you love bowling, watch it on TV.
That's right.
Watch it on Flo. You guys are our fans. You're the ones that are going to make or break as we go into try to get these big sponsors, try to get these these great deals, and we're bringing you all the action. So keep watching, tell your friends, and just tune in because it's going to be a great season.
Yeah.
Ditto, and I also stay tuned for the PBA Summer Tour schedule and the PBA 50 National Tour schedule, which is more content that's from start to finish on Flow, with the stepladder finals and all the events live on Flow, and that's going to be up to more than 20 more events that are going to be coming up in the summer. So even after the Fox season ends, we keep it coming. It's relentless.
And then, my last thing is if you're a good bowler, join the PBA. Membership is open. Go to PBA.com, figure out how you can become a PBA bowler, and we'll be reading your name up here in no time soon.
Awesome.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you guys at home. Be sure to check FloBowling.com every day. Make it a bookmark. Check it on your phone when you wake up in the morning. Something new every day. I'm Lucas Wiseman, Senior Editor of Flow Bowling. For Coley Edison, Tom Clark, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in January when the season gets started here on Flow Bowling.